So we have this new circular project coming up, and it looks very promising. This time you want to do it right. No more anti-patterns, planning chaos, and meeting-driven development. Just a proper scrum. Your attitude is very admirable, but there is a problem. No one gives a shit. PM doesn't give a shit. Developers don't give a shit. Udin CEO, deep in the heart, doesn't give a shit. And for those who do, it's going to be a tough ride. And yet, at the end of the day, it works. Somehow. The company gets sold for $1 million, and you get thrown away to the scrapyard with severe burnout, questioning the meaning of life again. So how can it be? In short, it's all about you. To explain it better, I will mention a few questions that probably crossed your mind many times before. So let me guess. Why can't we be more professional? Why does no one care about quality? Why is our plan so far from reality? Who crapped in my code again? And these are all valid questions, but you might spot something interesting. These words are definitely not random. So let's start with the first one. And before we do, this is my new channel, so if you hit like and subscribe, this will help me a ton. And with that, professionalism. There should be no surprise that some words mean different things to different people. And the word professionalism is a particularly tricky one. For you, it possibly means fulfilling the teaching of great Uncle Bob and the kind. Others don't know who Uncle Bob is, so for them it may be, say, reaching the KPIs at any cost, or just doing good enough to get that monthly payslip. And that difference in perspective is actually a good thing. We engineers often think that companies are just made of code, clean code. The truth is, the market doesn't care if your average functional length is 10 or 110 lines. If they had a mind to argue, probably they're not as bad as you think. Just a fact. And don't get me wrong, the bar is pretty low right now, but good times create weak people, and there is only one thing that you can do about it. Don't overthink it. Just do your job the best you can and invest in yourself. Things will get better, or in the worst case, they will not. Quality. If Einstein were a developer today, he would probably build his theory of relativity around quality. You may think the faster you go, the lower the quantity gets, but it's actually not true. There are tons of other factors, like your skills and experience. And by the way, low quality doesn't mean it's a bad quality, because low relative to what? The aerospace industry is a common but bad reference. First, because you're not building aircrafts, but also, software projects usually don't go up to pieces in one moment because of a tiny little loose bolt. You may say that there are certain standards and practices applied to any project. Yes, but somehow this still ends up in a question of choosing microservices over a monolith for a 3-person development team, as if it has something to do with quality. What I'm trying to say is building the whole application in one file may be as good as having perfectly designed subdomains with 110% test coverage. Just two different systems. So do your judgment, but make sure everyone is aware of it. Planning. All plans are crap by definition. Just accept it. It's designed to serve one main purpose. Know what you have to do now and why. All other questions like when it's going to be done or how much it will take, at the end of the day should serve this one purpose. As someone famously said, the plan is nothing, planning is everything. So next time you say it will take as much as it will take, ask yourself, whom are you doing this service for? At least you get asked to plan things, which is not always the case. So do a favor to yourself. Think it through, do your best estimate, and prepare for the mental shitstorm on why is it taking so long. I wish everyone read Clean Agile as you did, but it is what it is. Just try to do better next time. Code. You shouldn't underestimate the value of good code, as well as you shouldn't overestimate it. What you should do is estimate it, or rather how good it should really be when you remove your emotional overattachment to it. Yes, we all have a special connection with well-written functions and properly named variables, but I bet the guy who operates the nail gun doesn't feel overly attached to the nails. And yes, one should acknowledge that there are different kinds of nails needed to build a fence and a rocket, as well as different kind of guys who operate it. One thing that is certain, what differentiates good engineers from the bad ones is judgment. I would love to give you a fancy recipe for how to get better with it, but the reality is pretty simple: sweat and tears. But don't worry, with every bad decision, there is an instant XP aim. Anyway, that's it for today. Don't forget to hit like. Thanks for watching and take care.